one of the power base of Taliban regime in Afghanistan. The ultimate plan is to terrorize the population through their shock and awe bombing and ruthless destruction, crush the people of the region to submission, and marginalize them to ensure non-resurgence of a government which is against American agenda. This suits the United States, India, and the Northern Alliance. For half a century we had peace in the conflict region, very conducive to progress and development, but was wasted. The tribes were governed by an indifferent and corrupt dispensation. Affairs of governance were managed through remote control. The benefits of progress were only available to the elite tribal leaders and elders who in due course of time abandoned their followers for greener pastures elsewhere and lost the intimate contact with their fellow tribesmen, whose plight remained unchanged. Disillusioned, they turned from Hujra to mosque for alternate leadership. In the areas of Taliban influence, we have failed to face their challenge. Superior alternate leadership did not emerge. Religious leaders are in control, and the demand of imposition of Sharia has caught the fancy of the masses. Disillusioned with the past, they are convinced their salvation lies in the rule of Quran and Sunnah. Going by the past performance of the last few years, victory over the Taliban is a very far cry. They have a popular cause and an undying swab and deal. Modalities will have to be worked out by making all the stakeholders on board. The will and inspiration of the people must be supreme, and if need be, should be determined. This step, if implemented in general terms, process of implementation should progress in phases and must be tackled carefully to arrive at a viable solution which is acceptable and implementable. Modalities be worked out by a competent body, including religious leaders. It could progress in outline. Second month, the Lower Jirga must include leadership, political and religious, and tribal elders from Fatah and NWF. This should be followed by a planned withdrawal of army depending upon the progress of the Jirgas to provide quick justice. This single step will establish credibility and sincerity of the cause. And finally, efforts should be made to take on board policymakers in the United States and other friendly countries or following the Arabs. Our Lord lay not on us a burden, like that which doubtless lay on those before us. Our Lord.
Thank you, Minister.
As the Vice Chancellor has got some commitment, and we were hoping that he would talk to us towards the end of the seminar, being the chief guest, but since he has to go, I request him for whatever comments and observations or whatever he'd like to say. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am grateful to the organizers of this conference, and I really feel an honor in welcoming Abbas Khan Mumtaz Gul, someone whom I have known since childhood. We have very close family relations, and Umar Khan Afridi, the name which I have been hearing since childhood. So for me it's a great honor to welcome them. Conferences and seminars are a vital part of an academic life. My talk would not be organized because it's not a prepared speech, but since this is a topic of my liking and something which I've been doing for the last 30 years. I think we should have more conferences and seminars like these because it's an important part of academic life and the students should be more active in that. And I think it's really an excellent sign that we see a lot of students attending it. I've given a copy of the Swati to Adnan Sawar. We'll have a separate conference on Swati, a separate one on Waziristan, and a separate one on the Taliban, and I would like the students and the staff to participate because the Taliban, as you know, is a very misunderstood phenomena. I mean, it became synonymous to terrorism. So I would like the students to be very active in that, go out to the field and study. Even we can have a conference on the sectarian crisis, like according to Subramaniam, who's the head of the India Institute of Strategic Studies, he says Pakistan's weakest link is sectarian. India should work on it and then we can have a walkover. There are many books written by, there's an Indian journal, Afsar Karim, he's a Muslim journal, but he's written a book on Pakistan and he's mentioned the weaknesses. If India works on these weaknesses like the sectarian problem in Punjab, Sindhi Mahajars in Sindh, Pashtun Baloch in Balochistan, refugees and locals in frontier then. So these are the weaknesses which have been pinpointed by our enemies, and I think they have done a great job for us. We as academicians and students should study that and try to work to find out a solution. Then coming to the general topic, the problem is that nobody knows the social structure of this society. Our only access is to English media. Whatever Newsweek, Time and Economist publishes, we go by that. And like Umar Khan Afridi said that they have people in Punjab have simply no information. Someone was telling me talking to someone in Islamabad is just like talking to someone in Britain. To them, frontier is the land of Kipling. 3 days back, there was a letter in Dawn. Someone wrote a letter criticizing the Wali of Swat. That why is he sitting quiet and why is he not active? Not knowing that the Wali is dead, the Wali system is no more. But this shows the knowledge which he had, and I don't know why they don't accept that letter. So the social structure needs to be changed. Our society has changed since 71. Khan is no more. The upstarts have lost the only social structure. The place of social activity we had is a mosque. So naturally, if you have a mosque as a place of social activity, people have nikah there, they feed their guests, jargas are held there. So religion has to be dominated and a mullah is dominant. Then the monarchy system is quite old, it's obsolete, it was created by the Britishers. They have no effective, they are not effective, they are all living in Dihan, Banu, Peshawar or Magdan. So this needs to be studied. Then the nature of law and order situation. The first Sufi Imam uprising, after that about 10 years or 7 years back, we went and did a field study in Swat. Nobody, they talk of Sharia, but they don't know what is Sharia. Nobody can talk openly. Actually what they wanted was, the conclusion was, they want efficiency and honesty. Even now what they want, why they talk about Sharia, because they can't say that we want the Wali by. The Wali are ruled for 45 years. Only 9 murders had taken place in during his rule. So they want justice and efficiency. An honest system has been replaced by a corrupt and inefficient system. What people want is efficiency, which we lack. So the real cause of the problem is neither Sharia, all they want is quick justice. So then in this nature of Taliban, that we would like to have a separate conference of the Taliban. Anything that happens here, they label it on the Taliban. Anything that happens in the West, it's called Al-Qaeda. There's a big difference between Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. I mean, Al-Qaeda is a completely different ideology. They have a completely different program. In Area Study Center, we have all the publications of Afghan Mujahideen. Only in 2 places Al-Qaeda is mentioned, and that's it. I mean, it's not as effective as an organization as it's talked about, nor are the Taliban as organized militarily or politically as they are talked about. So I think we should, hopefully, Law College or the IR department should organize a separate conference on the Taliban and we would analyze it. Then there are regional actors, regional countries which are very active. India is very active against Pakistan. I mean, they are sponsoring certain groups. Even Americans are sponsoring, the Russians are